starting.
Okay, good.
All right. So, hi everyone. We are here at the Java Hub directly from Java 1. And this is 2016, and we are having a great show today, or actually this whole week.
Yes,
right?
indeed. Yep.
And, we had all kinds of very, very cool discussions. And I'm here with a very, very good friend, but a guy that's fundamental in the Java ecosystem, Mr. Patrick Curran. How, Patrick?
Hi, Bruno. Good to be here.
How are you doing?
I'm doing good.
Very good seeing you. So Patrick, you are the PMO of the JCP, right?
I'm the chair of the JCP.
Sorry, you're the chair. I'm sorry.
Yes.
You're the chair of the JCP.
That's right.
Right, and you're responsible to hurdle all of the community around improving Java.
Indeed.
Right?
Yes.
Now, the reason we are here today is not to talk specifically about the JCP,
Right.
but it's to talk about how developers can improve their careers.
Indeed. Yes.
And the JCP is one of the best ways that a developer can improve their careers, right?
That's right. Yes.
Why?
Because, okay, you notice I have grey hair. I've been in this business for more than 30 years.
Right.
When I started with punch cards.
Uh-huh.
There was not even PCs. PCs came a little bit later.
Right.
When I started, a Cray supercomputer cost $10 million. This thing that I'm holding in my hand is more powerful than that Cray supercomputer.
Right.
There was no internet.
But
there was no
that
networking.
Cost $1 million.
Exactly. It costs more than they would like. The point is, you can't predict in this industry things are going to be like in 5 years, much less 30 years.
Yeah.
But if you're a young person starting out today, what are you going to do? How are you going to plan your career? How are you going to put yourself in a position where you learn the things that you need to learn so that as new stuff comes along, you can take advantage of it? So that's one aspect of this. The other is I've been reading a bunch of books recently about automation and robots and stuff like that, and how most of the jobs that people have today are going to go away because machines will do them.
Right.
Yes, cars drive themselves. Think of the number of people that will put out of work.
Yeah, and not only that, in 10 years, all the jobs that exist today, there's going to be new jobs, right?
That's right. There'll be different jobs. We don't know what they are. Then the other factor is outsourcing. Over my career, I've outsourced jobs first of all to Ireland. Then the Irish got too expensive, and then we went to Russia.
Russia, right? Yes.
China. These days it's Eastern Europe. I have a good friend in Bulgaria who's running a company trying to set up outsourcing work there. And I met a guy last night who wants to do the same thing in Romania.
Okay.
So if you are a young developer...
You're saying we live in a tough world.
Indeed we do.
Yes.
Most people don't even have an office. If you're lucky, you've got a little cubicle, right? Many people don't even have that. You know, you have this big desk and you're sharing it with 12 other people, or you don't have a desk at all and you're working at home. So in this world, how do you distinguish yourself from other people? I take it for granted that you're smart and that you know the technologies.
Yes,
but
otherwise you're not even going to be a developer,
right?
Right.
Yes, you're not even in the game. But no matter how smart you are, there's somebody else on this planet who is at least as smart as you and who's willing to do your job for less money than you are being paid today. That's just a fact of life.
Yeah.
So what is it that makes a difference between someone who is a competent developer and somebody who actually advances up the ladder? The difference is in what the HR people call soft skills.
Soft skills, right. So soft skills are the skills that not only the engineering, the writing code, right? So it's being able to do more than that.
That's right. It's all about communication, basically. You have to be able to talk to people. You have to be able to work with other people. You have to be able to explain your ideas to people. You have to be able to sell them when that's appropriate. And when somebody else has a better idea than you, but it's different, you have to figure out how to work a compromise.
Right.
So all of these skills are really important, and I've been hiring people in the tech industry for 30 years. And like I say, I take it for granted that they have the technical skills. I once hired a young woman. She had a PhD in networking. Thought this would be great. I brought her in to write device drivers. She knew the theory, but she was not able to get on with the rest of the team, and it really didn't work out. So these skills that you need guess how you get them? You get them by working, collaborating with other people.
Right.
If you are even a high school student today in the US and you want to get into college, in addition to getting your SAT and proving that you're technically smart, you have to come up with a long list of social stuff that you've done.
Right.
These kids have to go and say, oh, I go and I help the homeless people, or I go teach and whatever, and I've been a volunteer here and I've done this and that and the other. You have to do these things. So, okay, so we're developers. Where do you do that kind of stuff? Well, there's two places. Either you join an open source project, and that way you're working with other people and you're collaborating on stuff, or you join the JCP and you work on our specifications. And in both of those environments, you learn exactly those skills that I've been talking about, because you're working with people all over the world. Many of them speak different languages from you. You have to learn to communicate verbally, in writing, and you have to be able to compromise and to work together. Those are the skills that you learn when you do something collaboratively, and believe me, if you want to have a job 5 years from now, you better have something like that on your resume. Unfortunately, you don't get paid for doing that kind of stuff. That's just life.
Yes.
That you have to do this volunteering one way or another, and that's the way that you distinguish yourself from other people.
Yes, and it's nice. Well, first of all, you mentioned both the JCP and open source projects. And I can see around here, just from where I sit, I see Eggshell, for example, right there, and she was working on an open source project. I see Fabiani right there, and she's also working on open source projects. I see Mark Liro from Red Hat, and he's actually managed a large company that's doing open source projects.
Indeed.
But he's also on the JCP.
Right.
So everyone around here that I can see are either working on open source projects or are involved in the JCP somehow.
Or both.
Or both,
yes.
Right? So actually you can see that once you start participating, once you start getting involved, you do raise above the level, because all of those guys are actually here.
Indeed. And it's fun. Look at how much energy there is in this room, right? It's, some of the volunteering things you might do, you may find a little bit dull and a little bit boring, but you feel you have to do them. But this is actually energizing. You get together with a bunch of interesting people and you do fun stuff. There's robots over there. There's IoT devices over here. I mean, it's fun.
Yeah, it's a very interesting combination, right? Because we see Linda right there. Hi, Linda. That's the spec lead for Java EE, right? So we have Java EE, robotics, and IoT, and art. There's an art thing going on right here. So it is really, really cool to see all this energy and all those developers actually doing things that they love, right? Because it's more than just doing their work.
Indeed, yes. And let me say one other thing. Many developers, their actual day jobs are kind of dull.
Yes. Yes.
London Java community, one of the biggest contributors to the JCP, along with your own jug, So Java. And what they tell me is they're based in London. Mostly the people who are in their jug work in the financial business of one kind or another. And in that business, what they're doing day to day is kind of boring. You don't get to innovate, because we're talking about multi-billion-dollar enterprises. You're probably maintaining somebody else's code that was written 10, 15 years ago. It's not that exciting. And they said that one of the main reasons they formed the user group was to give the London developers an opportunity to work on something other than what they were doing in their day job, because that was a bit boring.
Yeah. All right. So it looks like that for you to grow in your career, you have to go, you have to participate, you have to engage with other people. But now, when you say like this, this sounds really hard, right? No. Because really, a lot of developers are not very willing to go and talk with other people, and so now you're saying, oh, you have to talk English to be part of this. You have to be able to express your ideas. Do you have to be able to do all of this to actually participate?
You can
start. You learn
doing
it?
That's the whole point.
Right.
You learn by doing. So you start small. Excuse me. And typically the best way to do that is not by yourself, but through your local Java user group.
Right.
So join your user group. There will be other people there. Some of them will know more than you. Some will perhaps know less than you. You can all help each other, but you won't be alone. You'll be working with other people, and then you can choose an area of technology that interests you, and together you can help to work on this. And you can start very small. You can start by learning about the technology and writing a small blog entry or giving a 5-minute quickie talk. You can perhaps take some of the documentation and translate it into your own language. You can write some small test cases to test out this technology, and you can go all the way from that, logging bugs, triaging bugs or whatever, all the way up to, as you gain experience, you can actually then help to contribute in a more significant way to the specification and maybe even actually to the implementation. So
Nice.
there's a whole range of stuff you can do.
That's very cool. So now you just mentioned the London Java community and you know how they started to help developers to improve their careers. Do you have any interesting or fun stories or real people that went through this process and are better today because they're participating in this process? I mean, who could you think about? You know, I can see a few of them here, but
well,
you know,
I know you always quote Ottavio, who started
Ottavio
Santana, who started
Yes.
very small, said, I want to contribute to OpenJDK, but I don't really know how. And within a period of, about 3 years, became a Java
Yes.
champion, and
3 years he became a Java champion.
just
yes.
got himself a fancy new job with Tommy Tribe, I believe. And
Right. Yes, he's working for Tommy Tribe
Yep.
now.
So it's really good to see that. And
Yes.
I think that as part of this whole exercise we're doing here at Java 1, we have some comments from other people who've participated talking about how their careers have improved as a result of their community involvement.
Yeah, you mentioned Ottavio is an interesting case because Ottavio, when he first joined the JCP, he messaged me and said, Bruno, this thing is dead. I said, why? He's like, I joined the mailing list, there's not a single email going on. I said, Ottavio, this GSR was approved yesterday. Right? So you know, so he really didn't know anything about it.
Right.
And on the same year that he started to participate, he actually got the Outstanding Member of the Year award
Yeah.
for the JCP.
Yeah.
So he actually, you know, he went from not knowing anything about it
Yep.
to actually be a outstanding participator of the JCP in a single year.
Yeah.
So I think it's totally doable and
Indeed,
and really
yes.
get your career going, right?
Yes, indeed, yes. So, bottom line, if you want to advance, if you want to have a job 5 years from now,
Yes.
you better be out there collaborating with other people. But, you know, it's work, but it's fun. You only got to look around and see how energized people are here. So,
Right.
jump in, have fun, advance your career.
Okay, that's really, really cool, Patrick. Now, let me ask you one question for you. You know, you said you have gray hair. You've been in the computer industry for a long time.
Yep.
But do you remember any specific things that you did, or any specific career move that you did in the past? Something that really worked well for you. That you say, after I did this, my career completely changed. Do you have any remember of what?
Well,
as a tip to other developers, what they could do?
Sometimes I say it's like surfing. I'm not a surfer myself. I lived
Right.
in Southern California for a long time. But with surfing, the idea is you don't get to control the waves. They just come along, but you have to be ready to jump on them. So the very first day I walked in to my first job, the manager said, okay, I'll give you a choice. He said, you can go over there and you can work with those guys. And there are a bunch of people with jackets and ties and shirts and stuff.
Right.
And they were sitting with COBOL coding pads.
Uh-huh.
They said, you go work with them, or you go work with these guys in the other room. The other room was a bunch of grungy-looking guys with jeans and scraggly beards and stuff. And the tables were covered with circuit boards and wires and oscilloscopes and all sorts of stuff. And I said, I wonder which one I'll go for. I'll go for that one. That looks like fun. So I took that, and I learned a lot more in that first couple of years than I would have done if I'd been coding in COBOL.
Right.
And then a couple of years later, my boss said to me, you want to go to California? I said, I don't know, I never thought about it. He said, we'll pay you a little extra money and you can go there for a year, and if you don't like it, you can come home. I said, okay, I'll go for it. So it's all about trying to put yourself in a situation where opportunities will present themselves,
Right.
and then having the courage or the stupidity, depending on how you look at it, to just go for it.
Right.
Because again, going back to what I said, if you're in London, you're working in the finance industry, you may not actually have the most interesting work to do, but if something comes up, then go for it. I know Trisha G used to work in London. She's now living I think in Seville.
Okay.
I don't know exactly what the circumstances were there, but again, it's a matter of, she's someone actually who learned very quickly. I remember I was at her first talk at a public conference, and that was only 2 or 3 years ago.
Uh-huh.
And then she became a Java champion. She ended up moving to Seville and now has a new baby and stuff. And sometimes you've just got to put yourself in a situation where things come along, and then don't be afraid to jump on it. Just go for it.
Right. That's excellent. So if you're listening here to us, and if you feel your career is stuck, right? If you feel that nothing happened for your career in the last 3 or 4 months, or even just a few months, if you see nothing happen in your career, nothing different happen, do what Patrick is talking about, right? Put yourself in a position where things can happen. Do not keep doing the same thing ever, right? So go to a user group, talk about some things, go to an event that you haven't gone before. Try different technology that you haven't experimented before, but put yourself in a position where things or change can happen. Because the one thing that we know is, if your career is stuck and you don't do anything different, it's going to continue to be stuck.
That's right. Yes. So, jump in, have fun, build your career.
Exactly. So thanks a lot, Patrick.
Okay, Bruno. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay, thank you all for watching us.
Bye.
Press the other one.